All right, here we go. Talking about IAs. You just got your IAs back. Some of them were good, some of them were not good, and none of them were perfect. So, that being said, we're all going to get a chance to improve our IAs before we submit. So, you didn't have your candidate number, obviously, before, so obviously you're going to have to go ahead and change your candidate number. Well, when you change your candidate number to give it back to me to submit it to Ms. Jackson to turn in, you can also make some other changes as well. Those final changes will need to be made by Friday, December 4th, so that gives you 3 weeks. When we come back from Thanksgiving break, we'll probably have a IA work day, review day, to kind of catch up on that. Because again, some of us were fine, and others of us were not fine. At the bottom, something that we all struggled with was APA formatting. And so I gave you guys, I put on Canvas here, an APA help PowerPoint, and it just kind of goes through basic stuff. This is obviously from Purdue OWL, which many of you probably looked at in your research. The main thing that this talks about, and I'm going to talk about it in a second, is in-text citations. So it talks about that. I'm going to go through that in a second with an example. And then it also talks about the reference page. So again, make sure that your reference page is in APA formatting. I did make a, right here in modules, IA formatting template. If you want to look at this formatting template, I made this fake research question about the Reconstruction of the South. And if you want to use this template to help you, that's fine. These are some fake references, but your reference page does need to look like this, where it is a hanging indent. Thank you. So make sure you check out those things. You can look at the exemplars, and some of the exemplars had table of contents, some of them didn't. That's kind of just up to you. Some of the exemplars had different title pages, and so again, that's a little bit up to you. But if you just want to, like, Coach Galt, just tell me what to do, look at this template. Any questions so far? Another thing is, if you would, most of your like grammar and punctuation stuff, that wasn't a problem. Some of you, I might have notated some things. Just make sure you pay attention to proper nouns and things like that. There was one of y'all too who did the civil rights movement. I looked it up, or I had to look it up, and I'll probably have to look it up again. But like, one of you did capitalize it, and the other of you didn't capitalize it. So just whichever of that was, just make sure you figure out which one that is, and then just do it consistently throughout the paper. Pay attention to the rubric that is attached to your thing. So that is you had this rubric before in that IA 6 steps sheet. And so make sure you're paying attention, because a lot of you, you might have just missed like 1 or 2 things that were in the rubric. And again, if this was the IA, they'd just like count off for those things. So make sure you're paying attention to the rubric. Going over, last thing I'm going to talk about the IA until after Thanksgiving break. I put a copy of this, and I'm going to show you an example of in-text citation with something that I had to do last year. If you want to learn more about blended learning, that's what my paper's on. But I'm just going to read this first paragraph here and look at the in-text citation. So again, there are many different blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here's 2 examples. So here it says, according to the authors, there's 3 authors, and then you put the year after it. So again, I'm not directly quoting, I'm just kind of summarizing, paraphrasing what they're saying. You could do it this way, according to blank, and then you have to put the year, which you're learning. Then you can just like similar thing, the authors, this, but then I put here, I said blended learning is approximately 60 to 70 face-to-face, about 30 to 40 online. And then I put the citation here where it's the authors. This et al. Means if there's like more than like 3 authors, you just put et al. And then comma, the date, period. Does that make sense? Sammy, I think this will help you the most because you were most condensed on your word count, but when I looked at your intake citations, they were very wordy. So I think if you went back through and just fixed this, it would save you in your word count, and you could probably add some more stuff that you took out. So again, this is on there as an example. You can look at my references if you want to. You can look at my title page if you want to, or like I said, I gave you that formatting template. And again, this is just to help you with a title page, and then it has the headers, and then your paragraphs would just go there. Some of you, or one of you, I can't remember who it was, it might have been someone not in here, they weren't indenting on their paragraphs, or like they had a paragraph that wasn't indented. I'm like, come on guys, like we're turning this into IB, like let's go, like let's indent our paragraph. So make sure it looks good for your sake, for your teacher's sake, Mr. Phillips and I, and your IB coordinator's sake, because again, you're not just representing yourself in all things at West Hall, you're representing our school and our IB program. So, are there any questions? So again, a lot of you only have minor things to tweak and just to pay attention to the rubric and maybe redo your title page or something, and then others of you, you're lucky because you're getting another chance. I will send, it's probably gonna be easier. Do you want me just to send individual messages about this is your candidate number?
Yes.
Okay, then we won't get confused on you, Charles copied Vanessa's and it was all, yeah. So, all right, I'm gonna stop this.